Okay. Hi, Roger. How are you?
Good. How are you, Doug?
Doing fine. Thank you. Thank you for coming on the show. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you.
So, we're going to be talking about your book called Road Trip to the Future. Somewhere I read, maybe it was on your website or something I saw, this was your first published book. Is that correct?
Well, it's actually my second. It's my first published novel. I published a academic book many years ago.
Oh, all right. But is this fiction?
Yes.
Okay. Because the way it reads, I mean, this could have been personal experience.
Well, I'll say that just about everything in there is based on either experiences I had directly or someone I know had.
Okay, well, I see Rick Haddad and Lew Rosenberg. Funny, I used to work with a guy named Lew Rosenberg. It's a
Oh,
very
really?
sort of a common name. Are those real people or are those just names you made up for the story?
Those are names I made up.
I guess I should ask why you decided to write this book.
Well, there's a number of reasons that I can look back on. I would say that uh, I've always had a strong social consciousness, and I've that's really driven my scholarship. Uh, I've published a number of uh, journal articles over the years, and I worked in academia for many years. I was I became a little bit disenchanted with the strictures of academic writing and the limits it placed on the kinds of things I wanted to express.
Can you give us an example of that?
The pursuit of knowledge in higher education doesn't really directly pursue normative normative questions, except to the extent they can be measured or represented conceptually in a rather uh, um, specialized discourse. So so there are real limits in academia, even though you have subjects like sociology and social work and so on. Even in those fields, which were really created out of a concern for the social good and improving conditions for everybody, they still are. They're still exercised, conducted, written for a audience that is looking for specialized uh, discourse based on empirical data or abstract ideas. And that's really what you have to do to get published.
So you're saying that what you were experiencing in academic life wasn't the type of material that you could easily get published because the publishers were not interested in it?
I had to fit it into the requirements of academic journals, which number in the thousands, and there certainly is a lot of variation within them. But you really have to write to the journal or write to the specialized audience, and it has to be based on adding new knowledge, which usually means ideas, measurements, um, not so much about ethical concerns,
So, so
except
in
in terms of this. Let me just say, ethical
okay,
concerns are limited to um, the choice of subject matter, but um, I would say that outside of philosophy, particularly continental philosophy, European continental philosophy, it's difficult to really get at contemporary social issues in the way that I wanted to.
okay. So this book, Road Trip to the Future, allowed you the freedom to do that.
Yes,
Okay, you want to give us just kind of an overview of the story? Don't give the whole thing away. We want people to buy the book, but just
sure.
kind of a
Yeah, so
synopsis.
the basic plot, which is really kind of the canvas, is a simple story about two older adult men who grew up together in Grosse Pointe, Michigan, and haven't seen each other much in their older adult lives. And so they've kind of grown apart. But on the occasion of the story, these one of the two individuals received kind of a set of text messages from a third friend who were kind of the text messages are cryptic and concerning. So the two guys get together on a road trip across Michigan to Chicago to try to find their friend and see what's going on with him. And on this road trip, there's a lot of humorous encounters they have across the state with other people. And they also debate politics, particularly racial politics and other related issues that are so pressing today in the United States and globally.
Is one of them a conservative and one a liberal? And
yeah, but I will say that I tried very hard to not make cardboard characters in terms of how they personified or represented liberal versus conservative. In fact, I would place each of them. I would not consider either of them on the extreme side, because I wanted to explore ideas and I wanted to do it in a thoughtful, reflective way and not just repeat the kind of discourse that we see in the mass media today.
So it's not Archie Bunker and Meathead.
No, but the counterpoint to what I just described is their dialogue also has a lot of there's a lot of irreverence. There's a lot of irreverence in the ideas that I express in the story. In this story, it's not conventional in the sense that it's not strictly an action plot. There are flashbacks. There's commentary, and so there's kind of a back and forth between irreverent humor, including social satire, and serious discourse about serious issues.
Well, you did say they were friends, right? So
yeah,
they're friends despite their political differences.
Oh yeah. So, but they haven't seen each other much. One of the characters has been working overseas for many years, and so they've kind of fallen out of touch. And so the politics that enter into it at first are surprising. Each of the characters is a bit surprised. I would say especially Rick's character is surprised at the positions that are initially expressed by his friend Lou.
So because they hadn't seen each other for a while, then his political views had shifted from perhaps what he remembered him years ago. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And so that's kind of the dialogue and debate that goes on throughout the story.
Okay.
And it gets quite heated at times.
Well, looking at the cover, I thought this was from the 70s or something. Is this set in modern times?
It's set in contemporary times, but they're driving a very old.
They're driving an old car. Okay. All right. That's what it is. And how old are these guys, you said? Like 40s?
Older. I described them as 60-ish.
Oh, 60-ish. Okay. All right. So the car potentially could have been their car as a teenager or something like that, right? Okay.
Yeah, it was in storage.
You mentioned the third friend that they're going to see, and I don't want to give away too much or be a spoiler, but you said he was sending cryptic messages. Is he in some sort of danger? Is that what they think has happened to him?
Yes, they think there's some problem that has his texts seem to suggest that he's kind of gone off the deep end.
He's having mental, emotional issues or something.
It seems like it, yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh, so they're going to try to help him, presumably.
Right, but they have to find him first.
But they have to find. Oh, okay. No, this is sounding interesting. Is the book been released?
It's being released today, as a matter of fact.
Oh.
April 30.
Okay. All right. Good.
April 30. Yeah.
Do you intend to do a part 2 to this, or is it pretty much a completed story?
Well, it's interesting you asked me that, because yes, I am thinking more and more about a part 2 and fleshing it out a little bit in my head. I haven't actually started writing anything, but except a few notes, which is how the road trip novel started, was really, jotting down some ideas.
Does it have a cliffhanger ending that would sort of lend itself to a second part?
Well, I can tell you that yes, it does. I left that open on purpose, and also I can tell you that cliffhanger in the sense that I can tell you that somebody who wanted to publish it prior to the arrangement I made with Between the Lines. He said that he was shocked at what happens in the story.
Who said they were shocked? The publisher?
Somebody in the industry.
Oh.
A publisher.
Shocked in a good way or a bad way?
I would say he didn't elaborate, but I thought he was saying that as a compliment to me.
Meaning the twist took him by surprise. He wasn't.
Yes.
He didn't presumpte you in any way, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, that is a compliment then, if he meant it like that.
Yes.
Well, I think on that we're going to kind of wind this down. Do you have a website that you want to give out for the book?
I don't have a personal website right now, but I do. My academic publications are on a couple websites, and one of them is called academia.edu or org, academia.org, and the other one is research. I can't remember the name of the other one on the top of my head, but you can read a little bit about me online on the publisher's website, which is, if you just Google Between the Lines Publishing. It's a publisher based in Minnesota.
Between the Lines Publishing?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, Roger, thanks so much for coming on this show. It was nice talking to you, and best of luck with the book. I hope it does well.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it.